how to evaluate beer aroma. When we are beer tasting, we need to think about the appearance and the flavour of beer, but we also need to think about beer aroma. A lot of what we consider taste and flavour actually comes from the aroma of beer. So it's important that we are able to assess this well and use our beer vocabulary to be able to describe what we are smelling in our beer. In this video today, I'm going to tell you how to assess beer aroma and give you some professional tasting techniques that will help you to pick out the nuances in that beer aroma. The first important part of finding out the aroma of your beer is to have it in a glass. Keeping it in the can or the bottle when you're at home will stifle some of those volatile compounds. You need a good tasting glass. You want one that can shape inwards and capture the aromas, and wide enough that you can stick your nose in and really pick up the beer aromas from what's in your glass. My favourite glass to use at home is a Teku. They have a lovely bowl shape which is going to open up the flavours and aromas of the beer. They then taper in to capture those, and there is a slight lip around the edge which will keep the aromas and the head in your beer. When you first open the can or bottle, the beer aroma is volatile, so some of it will come out as soon as you open that can. Think about what you get as soon as you open it. That is what the beer is shouting at you. It will be the most prominent notes of your beer aroma. There are several different ways that you can assess the beer aroma through different aroma techniques. Here are some of my favourites. The first is the drive-by. You take your beer glass and you pass it back and forth under your nose. You breathe in as you do this, and that will give you the top notes of the beer aroma. The second technique that you can use is short sniffs. You want to put your nose in the glass and take lots of short, sharp sniffs. This is going to get you the next layer of aroma. The final technique I want to share with you today is my absolute favourite, and if you don't do any others, then you should always do this when you're trying to assess the beer aroma. Take your glass and put your hand over the top. You're going to swirl the glass around. This will move the beer and release some of those volatile aromatics, and they're trapped under your hand. You are then going to put the glass under your nose, take your hand off, and then take a deep sniff. In this way, you can get the very deepest notes of your beer aroma. You can do any combination of these techniques, do all of them, only do one. Work out what works best for you to assess the beer aroma. But where does beer aroma come from? Aroma, it can be added to beer through the addition of hops, through the different malts that are used, and also through fermentation. Hops will add to the beer aroma with things like tropical fruit, citrus, pine, resin, earthy, marmalade, perfumey, sometimes minty, depending on where the hops are from. Malt has a wide range of aromas that it can add to beer. You can go at the lightest end from doughy and grainy all the way up to the darker end of malts, where you can find coffee, chocolate, and even some burnt roasty aromas. Fermentation is really interesting both in beer aroma and flavour. Concentrating on the aroma today, fermentation can add things such as a jamminess. It can add what are called esters and phenols. Esters are fruity notes and phenols are spicy notes. So if you think of a classic wheat beer, that will have banana esters and clove phenols, and that comes from a particular strain of yeast that is used. So it's important to think about the strain of yeast used when you are assessing your beer aroma. You might also want to think about what isn't there in your beer aroma. If it's a lager, these are said to ferment clean, so there may be no fermentation character at all. Picking up these notes from beer aroma can help us work out the bigger picture, so it really adds to our understanding of what is in our glass and our understanding of beer. If you would like to learn more about beer tasting, my course Build Your Beer Vocabulary will help you do just that. We look at beer descriptors, where they come from, but we also look at how to taste beer with professional techniques that will build your confidence in your beer tasting hobby. Check out the link in the video notes to join today.